Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news, folks. It's our job to give you some interesting about the world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long or so podcast. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we are here to give you some crispy morsels to talk about with your friends, compatriots, family members, near the water cooler or kitchen or whatever you happen to be at. It is a big week for us here at the Crispy Noodle headquarters. We're on the verge of football season. I am amped. I am ready to go.
It is go time.
We're going to get into that in just a minute. But before we get to all of the news at hand, Mikey, how are you doing that's not football?
So, actually, I had quite a busy past week because I was out visiting my brother John Bruno and his wife in Chicago. Chicago's a fantastic city. If you've never been, if you ever find yourself in an opportunity to go, you absolutely should. There's just so much to do. There's always something happening. There's always some kind of like fireworks display or open air market or like some kind of festival or thing. It's a very busy city. There's always like multiple things going on at any given time. But my favorite thing to do
it is the Windy City. So
it is the Windy City.
It's all the wind moving around from being constantly busy.
Yes, that must be what it is. Weirdly, it was not very windy while I was there, which was disappointing because it was quite hot.
They knew you were coming.
They knew that I was coming because the week before was all in the 70s, and now I think it's also in the 70s. So I'm like, what the heck? Why did it have to be like high 80s for the one weekend that I was there? But no, it was good. I'm wearing, if you're watching the video podcast, the Sue T-shirt. That's
You're gonna sue somebody?
No, it's actually the name of. I'm gonna sue the Field Museum for not doing more for the dinosaurs there. But no, Sue is the largest and most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton in the world. They have it on display at the Field Museum. It's one of my favorite things to do there is to go see the Field Museum. You need a whole day to see it. It is absolutely massive. So good. The other thing I love to do is to go see a show at the Second City, which is famous for, you name a person who's done comedy or who's been on SNL, they've been through Second City's improv group.
Yeah.
It's so cool seeing all the pictures.
Comedy minor leagues.
Yes, absolutely. And the show was absolutely outrageously funny. And I think it's one of the best things to do in Chicago. Like, if you only have, like, a weekend, like 2 days, go to the Second City and go do a riverboat tour to see all the skyscrapers, the lake, and the river, and the rivers. Those are the two best things you can do in Chicago. Absolutely incredible.
All right.
So I was very, very busy. I also did a whole food tour.
Around Chicago?
Well, we didn't take a food tour. We made a point to go get all of the different food staples. We got Pequod's deep dish from the Bear. That was the deep dish place that was referenced there. Best deep dish I've had so far. Better than Giordano's, better than Luminaldi's. Best place. We did the hot dog. We did the Italian beef from the Italian beef place that is also the inspiration for the Bear. Are you catching a theme here?
Yeah. It is a great show.
It is a great show. We did the cake shakes from Portillo's, which
sounds like a disease. You got the cake shakes.
It will give you a disease known as diabetes. They take a whole piece of chocolate cake and they blend it into the bottom of a milkshake. A large is like 2,000 calories by itself. So we split a cake shake.
That's probably a good call.
Yeah, and we did the famous Garrett's popcorn. We did. There's something else we did too, but we did like all the major foods. It was a busy food-filled weekend. A lot of fun.
Right. There you go.
I was very, very busy. What have you been up to? What have you been doing recently? Doing anything fun to get ready for the football season?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm ready to go. I've got like my head in all the analysis. I did a fantasy football draft for the first time in what seemed like forever.
Nice.
It's been a while since I've been in an actual league and doing the draft.
Who'd you grab? Who's your top guy?
I was able to grab Tyreek Hill. So
wow,
I'm riding with Tyreek this year.
Nice.
I just love following the NFL. I love just all the aspects of it. I love sports betting. It's coming. This is the week they're going to throw all of the promos at you. All the no sweat bets and odd boosts. It's going to come this week. I'm going to have something to say about it in just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So don't go anywhere. But you know what? I think with your trip in Chicago, I think that is an appropriate transition to our first part of the show with the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports, 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 sports.
In your face. Ha ha!
Yeah, unfortunately, though, it might not be the thing you want to do if you're in Chicago. You were in Chicago. You could have seen the wonderful team known as the White Sox play.
I could have.
Or maybe you did the right thing and just avoided them altogether, because we mentioned them last week, and they still have not won a game since we talked about them. They are currently on an 11-game losing streak. But the catch is they've only really won like 4 games since August 1st. I mean, we are talking about a historically bad season. This is cause for Rich's futility watch to go up. So woo, woo, woo. Everyone
sound the alarm.
Sound the alarm on this.
Oh, no! We suck again!
Yeah. They are currently, as of the recording today, 31 wins and 108 losses.
That's a staggering amount of losses.
This is...
And for those keeping track, there's only 23 games left.
Yes. They're 12 away from having the most losses in a single season in the modern era.
That's absolutely wild.
Do you think...
Especially modern sports. I want to say modern sports, you rarely see teams this bad.
Yeah.
Like historically bad. Modern sports, their whole gimmick is like parody, right? Or they try to be.
Right.
So this is very notable.
Yes. And I got to say that the next I looked at their schedule coming up, the next couple of games that they've got. I don't know if they're going to snap this streak. They got Orioles and the Red Sox and the league and the division leader Cleveland Guardians
like
up
those,
on deck.
Those are all those series are just
they could all
sweep,
be losses.
sweep, right?
Yeah. I mean, I really their next winnable stand is against Oakland, because Oakland's going to be moving to Sacramento for some godforsaken reason.
And
next
then
year.
Even there, even if they play their best ball, how many wins they get there?
Right. And then they've got series against the Angels, the Padres, again with the Angels, and then Detroit to close out the season. I mean, this really could happen.
So
They are on the path to having the worst record ever in Major League Baseball history.
I think they're going to do
in the
it.
modern era.
In the modern era, I think they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they? What's their win percentage now? 0.223.
Yeah.
They're only winning 1 out of every 5 games, barely.
Barely.
So.
We got to talk about that too.
What?
It was a game last week. I think it was the Thursday night game. They were down 4-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Oh, you sent me this, yeah.
And they had a guy on first and second, and this guy hits what should have been a home run. It looked like it was going to clear.
Walk-off home run, yeah.
Walk off, clear the bases, finally give the White Sox the boost in the arm that they need. And the outfielder just jumped up and just snatched it away.
Just one of those crazy catches. It's a highlight reel catch.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
Just
He
kick
can't
the
even get that one? Yeah.
Punch the White Sox while they're down. They're not going to buy a win at this rate. It was just unbelievable.
And I got to tell you, having just been in the city, now I wasn't super aware, but in the back of my mind, I was like, wait a second, isn't this the city where that really bad team is from?
Yeah.
So I was like tangentially aware. And I asked before recording, I was like, well, wait, where are they based out of the city? You're like, like in the southern part of the city. I'm like, oh, that sucks, because that's where I was. I saw not a single White Sox, anything anywhere. Like, no.
I mean, when the team is doing that bad, I don't think you're going to find much merchandise.
So just like the vibe of that part of the city, even just they were more focused on the bike race that weekend than like there's a charity bike race than I didn't see any White Sox anything anywhere. There you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Even Rich's
Microsoft.
computer dislikes the White Sox.
Yes, yes. Microsoft has agreed that this is an historically bad season for the White Sox.
So in terms of futility watch, they're gonna reach peak futility. I think they're gonna not lose out, but they're probably gonna finish what they need to lose. They can only win a maximum of 5 or 6 games to still maintain the worst record of all time.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it.
Yeah, so they can't win more than 8
8 games? Okay.
Because if they win 9, that ties the Mets at 40.
Okay.
So they have to stay under 40.
Oh, they're doing it. There's no way. They got 23 games left. You're telling me they're gonna go 9 and what's 9 from 23?
14.
This big brain time. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, look at the big brain on me. Here we go.
9 and 14. There's no way.
Wow. That would be.
There's no way. 9 and 14. They've gone 31 and 108. 9 and 14 is like double that win percentage. Right?
How do you even like?
You don't.
Yeah.
You just pack it up and you try again next year.
Like there's still 9 baseball players that are going to go out
Every game.
Yeah, and they're going to try and win. But like, how do you even just like hang?
To be
like,
clear,
how
I
can
think
you even be proud of yourself running onto that field?
I think we're past the point of them caring. I think they're clocking into work. They are
quiet quitting.
They are quiet quitting. They're doing their 9 to 5 with as little effort as possible, and they're clocking out at 4:59.
Which is the 9th inning.
Yeah.
8th inning. Maybe the 8th inning.
8th inning. They are collecting paychecks.
7th inning stretch. they're going to quit right then and there.
They're going to stretch themselves all the way to their vehicles and leave the game early. No, I mean really, it's every workplace has it. You have quiet quitting. You have people who are just clocking in, and that's what they're doing. They're just clocking in. They're collecting a paycheck.
Yeah, but this is bad.
It's really bad.
This is going to go down in the history books. I mean, 108. They're already past their own franchise record for most losses in a season.
Yeah.
And they still got 20-some games left. Ridiculous.
It's brutal. I don't know how it just must be very depressing. It must be a very depressing locker room right now.
They're just giving away tickets, too. They can't find people to attend the games either.
I'll go when they start paying people to attend the games.
This might be it.
They need seat fillers. They're like, we'll give you $50 to watch the game. I'm like, all right. I'll have a hot dog or two.
When we get to like the last 5 games of this season, they might need help. Yeah, they might need the seat fillers at this rate.
We'll have to buy plane tickets to Chicago. Then they'll pay us to sit and watch the game. We'll have a couple hot dogs. It'll be fun.
Yeah, but it's that bad, folks, for the White Sox. They are
Yikes.
Just spiraling out of control.
That
I've
is
never
so
seen.
depressing.
I mean, before this, the worst record that I remember seeing is like 58 and like 104 or something. Like it was always like the goal to be like don't hit triple digits because that's like a mark. That's a stain on your season.
Yeah.
For any team that hits triple digits losses.
Right.
So we've never really seen a team just go full blown beyond that. Like they've already passed the triple mark, and they are just still just like, oh my God, the season's still going.
Yeah, it's one thing to hover around the 100-loss mark, give or take. We've seen some bad teams, but they're at the point where they're going to be comfortably beyond 100 losses.
Correct.
I think that's the most upsetting thing for them and the fans.
Yes.
It's like, I guess they could stomach like a 110 loss season, but they're going to blow past that in the next. But by the time we finish recording, they're going to somehow get 2 losses. But no, by the time we record next week, they'll probably be over 110.
Well, we will keep an eye on it for you for Rich's Futility Watch because, folks, it is that bad.
Oh no! We suck again!
That is the official sound clip of the Futility Watch.
They're just awful.
Yeah. Good luck to anybody that's a Chicago White Sox fan. Oh, sorry.
That is sad news. But moving on from sad news and non-football news, because it is officially time, Rich, to talk some football.
It's motherfucking goddamn sons of bitchin' fucking football.
Yep. Before we get into some season previews and such, the big news is that Brandon Ayuk finally made a decision, and he's staying put in San Francisco.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, he finally got the deal that he wanted, a 4-year, $120 million extension to stay on a Super Bowl contender. And I think this is really the final nail in the coffin. I think Brandon Ayuk thought he was going to get the contract, and I think he thought he was going to be able to go to another team that was contending.
Oh yeah, he thought, I know, I'll just ask for a trade, and they're going to send me to the Philadelphia Eagles, or they're going to send me to, I don't know, some other top. They're going to send me to the Chiefs. Like, no. Teams came calling, and it was the Browns and the Steelers.
And the Patriots.
And the Patriots. He said, oh, hold on.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh no! We suck again!
Because here's the crazy thing. What is he now? Like, top 5 paid wide receiver? And he gets to be on a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah.
Okay, he could have gotten an extra $10 million and also had 10 or more losses.
Yeah, not
You know,
content, yeah.
So I think this is the only right decision.
For
right?
him, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You get top five money, get to play for a playoff-bound team instead of withering away in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know?
And that situation would have been far worse.
Oh,
Because you
it
don't,
would have
you
been
don't even know
terrible.
who the quarterback's going to be.
We do now. It's Wilson.
Well,
but
how long is that going to stay?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like,
And then his other choice was the Browns, who you never know when their quarterbacks are going to be called into a legal proceeding. And then you got the Patriots, who we don't really know what they're going to do, but it probably won't be spectacular with a full rebuild going on.
nope.
So, yeah, I mean, it's common sense. I don't know why he didn't come to that sense earlier. He left us hanging for like 4 weeks.
Yeah. But with that now officially done,
Yeah.
are the 49ers the NFC favorites in the conference?
I mean, it'd be silly to say otherwise, even though I dislike them. But I think as they're going to milk Brock Purdy's rookie deal, and this is going to be the last season they can do that. So this is their moment. This is their 15 minutes. If they don't do it this year, I don't know that they're going to get it done with Purdy at quarterback, because he's going to command at least $240 million contract.
Yeah, he's going to cash in very well.
I mean, as Mr. Irrelevant to lead them to the playoffs, what, if this is the third time in 3 years?
How about to another NFC Championship game?
Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to require over 200
Maybe another
million.
Super Bowl, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances.
If he does that, it's going to be over 250 million.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the McCaffrey and Ayuk deal, the GMs are going to be scratching their heads.
Yeah, because there's only so much of the pie you can spread around.
Yeah.
It's going to get tight very fast.
So, short answer, yes, I think they are the kind of de facto NFC favorite, even though I don't like them. But who I like and doesn't like, that doesn't matter.
No.
What about you? What do you think? I mean,
Yeah, I hate to say it on paper. Their roster is basically the same roster coming back.
but it's not even that. It's who else is going to challenge them. Nobody from the NFC South. They're just a godforsaken wasteland. NFC East, it's the Eagles, and the Cowboys are always in conversation, though I think we're both in agreement they're going to waver a little bit.
We're going to talk about that in a bit.
Yeah. The North is going to be tough.
Yes.
The North, Green Bay, young upcoming team. The Bears, new look. We don't know how they're going to do. They could be pretty good. The Lions are going to be threatening. The Vikings, they're kind of the odd one out, but
Yeah, the Vikings, I don't think they're going to
but I don't
do
think
well.
I don't think anybody in the NFC comes close to the 49ers.
Yeah.
I could be a homer. I could say the Eagles, but you know.
Yeah. So we shall see, but this definitely puts the 49ers in a good spot going
Yeah.
into this season. All right. So, yeah, with that in mind, are we ready? Is it time to do our first predictions of the NFL season?
There's no time like the present. Let's get it started.
All right. Then for the first time for this season, week 1 of the NFL season, the Fantastic Four picks. Oh, yes. Prediction music is on. Let's start prognosticating. What are the
right.
games we're going to talk about?
First up, our season opener. It is the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Kansas City to face off against the defending Super Bowl champions. This is Thursday night, 8:20 p.m. Rich, the Ravens desperately looking to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are regular attendees and winners. Who's going to win this? This is obviously a very early season potential preview of what could be an AFC championship game.
Well, it was the AFC Championship last year. And for those that are interested in revenge games, I mean, this is your classic, litmus test here, because the Ravens got knocked out by the Chiefs in a stunner last season. In Baltimore, too. Chiefs had to go on the road last year to punch their ticket to the Super Bowl. And the Ravens, they also beefed up their offense with Derrick Henry. But I can't go against Patrick Mahomes until I see some significant slowdown with Andy Reid and his offensive brilliance. Until I see something stagger with that, I think you have to still give the edge to the Chiefs and expect Patrick Mahomes to take over games. I'm going to go with Big Red at home to handle the season opener.
That is the logical choice. But if nothing else, I am a man of illogic. And what better way to start the NFL season than with me picking wrong like I usually do? I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Because I'm feeling an upset. You know, these two teams are very, I think, evenly matched. Yes, clearly Patrick Mahomes being the better of the two quarterbacks. But the Ravens have a stellar defense. You mentioned they boosted their ground game.
Yeah.
They could take some of that pressure off Lamar Jackson. It's going to open things up. Yes, their wide receivers are not great, but also the Chiefs don't necessarily have spectacular wide receivers either. They're dragging Juju out of the grave to see if they can make him relevant again. Yes, they have Travis Kelce, who is also 36 years old, and he might need to fly to France or to Australia for a concert.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the upset. The Chiefs had the longer season. They had the harder season last year. They had a lot of partying in the offseason. Week 1, a lot of question marks.
Is Taylor going to be there?
I don't know. If she's not there, is Travis going to be sad? Well, I don't know. So I think this is a good opportunity for revenge and for an upset. I'm going with the Ravens. But this one is also about revenge. It's actually about hatred.
Yes.
On our path to the dark side. Rich specifically requested this game, even though I can't see a rhyme or reason to it other than the fact that he hates the Cowboys. There's the Dallas Cowboys traveling to Cleveland for Sunday afternoon game. Rich, why do you hate Dallas? I mean, I know why, but tell the audience why.
So I was initially upset because the Browns had announced that Nick Chubb was going to be out for the first season. He's still recovering from that devastating knee injury he had last season.
Guy can't catch a break, or rather he catches too many.
Yeah. And I was like, great, the Cowboys are going to catch the Browns
Right.
on, what could be an easier slate.
Right.
But you know what? I was going through the Browns roster, and they are still stacked on defense.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson, I know he has the issues and everything, but this is a pivotal year for him. He is now more than halfway through his gigantic guaranteed contract.
He's done almost nothing.
And he's done nothing.
Yeah.
If he expects to do nothing again this season, I think he's going to be an outright cut sooner or later, and the Browns are just going to eat the rest of that guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
And they can. There's no such thing as too big of a quarterback dead cap hit anymore.
That's true.
We have surpassed that. So I think Deshaun Watson is actually probably going to have a good year coming up as long as he stays healthy. And the Browns are coming back with the same defense as last year. I don't like the Cowboys on its own, but I also don't like their offseason. I don't like the moves that they've done. I don't like this all-in strategy. I think this is going to be a win for the Browns to start off the season. I like it. I'm digging this. Cowboys' first loss to start off the season.
To quote Madden, half of football is 100% of football. 80% of football is, I can't remember the quote.
80% of the game's half mental.
Is half mental. And the point I'm trying to get at is that the mentality that Dallas is bringing to this game is actually a losing mentality. Because when you think about how they're dragging their feet with their big player contracts, how they made no offseason moves to get better, they lost players to fill the holes. They brought back the corpses of running backs from the past, and they expect to go out there and maintain that same level of play. That's in the NFL, that's a losing mentality.
Yep.
Anytime you stand still in the NFL, you're going to get dragged. And I think that we're going to see that. I think that the Browns have a very real shot. It's a home opener. Guys are back. They're healthy. I know Nick Chubb, losing him was a little bit of a setback, but still a lot of great players on that team, specifically the defense. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. I can see an outside chance of the Browns pulling off a win here.
Yep. Also, Jerry Jeudy. Remember, Browns traded for Jerry Jeudy from the Broncos.
That's right. That's true.
Another weapon.
So another little bit of extra firepower there.
Yeah.
Next up, though, we have a primetime return. The New York Jets are facing off against the San Francisco 49ers. This is a Monday night game. What does the Windows notification say, Rich? Who's going to win this one?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting the message here from Microsoft there and Bill Gates. No, this game, you got to go roll with the 49ers home. They've settled everything now with Brandon Ayuk. They should be ready to roll. I can't trust the Jets until I see Aaron Rodgers play a full game.
He could step out there and bust another Achilles.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, so it's that simple.
It really is. I don't know why everybody is determined to make the Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets thing happen. Like, I know Aaron Rodgers, like, big name, but, I mean, there's nothing to go by. And everybody, every list I see, he's still one of the top 5 quarterbacks, top 100 players, best players of the season. I'm like, the dude's thrown one pass and then broke his Achilles.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
there's literally nothing. He has not had a chance to practice. When he has had a chance to practice, he went to Egypt.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well.
So, am I basing this mostly on bias? Sure, why not? But also, if there's one thing I hate more than the 49ers right now, it's the hype around Aaron Rodgers, which I think is completely unwarranted.
Yeah.
With the Jets. Yes, with the Packers, sure, whatever.
Wait to see. We got it.
Yeah.
He has to play a full game before we can analyze how good he'll be.
Right. So, I think San Fran at home, easy peasy. But finally, this is a tough one that I think we may disagree on. It's our very own hometown Philadelphia Eagles with their home opener, but it's not in South Philly. It's in Brazil.
Yeah.
Rich, this is a Friday, 6 o'clock game. Time is weird, but will the Eagles adjust?
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 8:15 p.m. I had the wrong information.
It is. There's so many new factors going into this game. The Eagles have a brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator, brand new center. It's just it's going to be very tough to get everything clicking just right the way it is on the first game of the season. And to top it off, in Brazil, not even being able to do it at home. It's got to be in this crazy international game to start off the season. However, the Packers also have a new defensive coordinator as well, and they are going to have to adjust to possibly the toughest wide receiver trio in the league, and Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go with the Eagles pull out a very slight win.
This man is a liar
I
because
am.
up until this
I
point,
am.
for weeks, I don't know, the Packers are going to crush us.
It still would not surprise me if the Packers pull out the win.
Right.
There's a lot of flags that this could be a trap game.
A lot of things need to go right.
I am not going to put my money on this game.
Yeah.
Avoid this game in terms of bets.
A lot of things need to go right. The line right now is -3 for Eagles, so slight edge, but that's a very, very close line right there. But I do agree. I think that the Eagles just have so much firepower early on in the season, even with the changes, just the pure physical athletic talent. We saw that all last year. We stumbled ass backwards into like at least half of those wins just because of pure talent alone, even when the plays and the coaching wasn't working. So I think we can at least do it one more time, especially in a completely neutral, unknown thing like Brazil, where the Packers have no edge either. That being said, I do agree. It will be a close game. I think it is kind of like a coin toss, like the line suggests. I mean, 3 points, that could really go either way, right? You know? So, but I'm still giving the slight edge to the Eagles because it's football season. And it's the Eagles.
Yeah.
And we got to start on a positive note. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
Did anybody really think we were picking the Packers?
Yeah. Who
Get outta
would
here.
have thought that? Get them off of this show immediately.
Get out of here right now.
Get them off of this podcast right now. Immediately. Speaking of that, we're going to take a break.
We're going to get off this podcast right now, but only for a few minutes.
That's right. Because we're going to take a little bit of a break to review and recap from that sports sampler. But we still got 2 portions of the show left, the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news. When we return, this is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble,
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look. They even broke.
Oh, yeah, back here on the Crispy Noodle podcast. Oh, man. Yeah, we're both very excited for football.
Oh, so excited.
Yeah, I mean, it is just one of those things. It's just like, I can't believe it's back.
I know.
It's like an old friend has come back in
It's
return.
been such a long wait, though. I know it's not really that long of a wait, but it feels like an eternity between February and September.
Yeah. I don't know how you do it, because at least for me,
I just forget about sports. I just don't pay attention to anything. I play video games. I read books.
Yeah, but see, like, yeah, at least like I've got like golf. I follow,
Yeah.
you know, NBA,
You
hockey,
follow
baseball.
all the sports. Like I feel like
Yeah.
you're fine because there's always something. You follow like 6 different sports, so you're like you're
5?
golden.
I mean,
It depends how you count wrestling.
Yeah,
if you count wrestling as a sport. If you count wrestling as a sport, that's
wrestling's
6.
not a sport.
Yeah, but you actively follow at least 5.
Yeah.
Tangentially wrestling as a let's call it 5.5.
5.5.
So you're fine all year round. You have enough sports to fit like if there were like 3 extra months in the year, you could still get it all in.
I guess you're right.
I'm
but-
only sports active from September to February.
Well, right. Roger,
Which is how I'm gonna put it.
Roger Goodell would not like to hear that, because he
I know.
says it's not the off season; it's the non-playing season. You still should be following, Mike.
I live for those moments of like the draft and the start of free agency and the start of the preseason. Like
I'm going to let Mr. Goodell know.
you call him up.
You're not following.
You call him
in
up.
the non-playing season.
You let him know.
All right. Well, there you go. Sports is at a full whirlwind craziness. But we got to leave it at that and move into our second topic, which revolves around some movies, TV, and video game news in the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, we're officially in entertainment entree mode, and we're going to start off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new movies, TV, and video games with Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what should we keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend?
Well, in theaters...
Besides
football, right. When you're not watching football, you can check out Beetlejuice.
Oh,
hitting theaters this week. Do you think they're going to do a third one?
If it is, it's got to be Beetlejuice.
I feel like they're probably legally required at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it this far, yeah.
You might as well do it. But this is, in fact, the direct sequel to the 1988 movie and features many returning cast members, including Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice, Winona Ryder, and Catherine O'Hara, but also some new up-and-coming stars like Jenna Ortega. This star-studded cast might not be enough to lift the review scores, though, which are currently sitting solidly in the 6 and 7 range. But still, for fans of the original and those looking to scratch that horror comedy itch, this might be a good movie for pre-spooky season.
What do you think of that rating if it's in the 6 and 7s?
So for a 6 or 7, I would have to be a big fan of a property to go check it out. I view like 6s as the old Game Informer review scale of limited appeal, meaning if you're a super fan, you're going to love it. If you're barely aware of it, you're probably going to be indifferent. So, like I said, if you really like the first Beetlejuice, you'll probably get some nice callbacks. You'll probably enjoy the ride. You're also not going to think much about it coming out of the theater, though.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the best you can hope for a sequel from, a movie,
also,
that's what, 30 years old now?
Yeah.
25 years old?
Yeah. It's unfortunately the trend in Hollywood. And kind of a side note, I like to view review scales in context of the genre. And for a comedy, the max is like an 8.5. You're never going to get like a 9 or a 10 out of a comedy.
Yeah, it would have to be like earth-shattering good movie.
Like certain genres, there's a ceiling for certain genres. And comedy, horror comedy especially, like this is pretty much close to the ceiling.
Yeah.
So go check it out. It's Beetlejuice. After that glowing review. This is their ceiling at a 6.5. But in video games...
It's actually on the movie poster. This is the ceiling.
This is the ceiling. Take
Roger
it or leave
Ebert.
it.
This is the ceiling.
Oh, but there's actually some really good stuff coming out in video games, though. Astrobot comes exclusively to PlayStation 5. This is technically the third game in the Astrobot franchise. The first two were completely different. The first one was a VR-only game. The second one was the packed-in game for the PlayStation 5 that demoed all the tech.
Yep.
But this installation is a full-fledged classic 3D platformer, over 50 levels, tons of unique power-ups, plenty of collectibles, lots of secrets and, Easter eggs for PlayStation fans. If you've played the packed-in game for the PlayStation 5, you know exactly what you're getting, just bigger and better. I'm super excited. I can't wait to try it. I will definitely be there on day one. But if you're not checking out Astrobot, you should check out Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, coming to Nintendo Switch, Xbox consoles, PlayStation consoles, and PC. Players can take on any role in the flying wizarding sport and can even customize an entire team to play through the career mode.
Wait, so it has create a team?
It does. Not only can you create the whole team and the players, but you actually get to play up to 2 roles of that team, switching between them during the match as well. So you can be both the seeker and a chaser or a beater or whatever. Has both online multiplayer and offline career mode, solo career mode. So I'm really actually looking forward to trying it out. It is free.
Is this what should have been in...
I think so.
The
game Hogwarts Legacy? I think so, probably. But this is free if you have PlayStation Plus, so there's no reason not to check it out. If you have PlayStation Plus, go pick up Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, out now on all major consoles.
Oh no, Rachel's going to hog my PlayStation now.
You better finish Baldur's Gate 3 because you're done.
Yeah.
You're done.
No.
You're getting kicked off.
Help. Help.
That's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, Mike, thank you for that segment this week in entertainment. Let's do some Star Wars news here because, as we all know, the Acolyte Oh man, just it was a very hit or miss show. And unfortunately, Disney has seen the writing on the wall, and they've decided to cancel it already after one season. But do you think there might be hope for this?
I don't know if there's hope or maybe at least a little bit of insight. So one of the big stars of the show was Manny Jacinto.
Yes.
Who came out of nowhere to play the villain. Completely different than his role in The Good Place.
Yes.
Which was like a revelation when they...
Should that be a spoiler? Did we spoil anything?
It's canceled.
It's a spoiler! Ooh, it's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away! Slight spoiler.
Sorry, slight spoiler, yeah.
Just an excuse for me to play a spoiler.
I know, you just like the sound. But yeah, he was a revelation in the show. So totally different. Brought, I thought, a nice, great ambience to the screen. He recently said on a panel that it is a life goal to get a second season made. And fans in attendance were excited, but I feel like in general, Star Wars fans are probably not excited for a season 2 because at the same time that Manny Jacinto is saying this, you have the actress Amandla Stenberg, who played Osha and May, saying that she wasn't surprised at all at the cancellation, judging from the amount of hate that the cast received after the announcement. And she said, quote, "I'm going to be transparent and say it's not a huge shock for me. Of course, I was in the bubble of my own reality, but for those who aren't aware, there's been a rampage of vitriol that we've faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a concept and no one had even seen it. And that's when we started experiencing a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language toward us. And it really affected me when I first got the job." So it makes you start to wonder here, why was the show really canceled? I mean, that's my question, because maybe it didn't have the viewership, but there's certainly been shows that have performed worse than The Acolyte that have gone on to continue.
Yes.
In terms of reviews and viewership. So, but clearly some of the actors want to continue it. Manny Jacinto said it's his life goal to make season 2 happen. I think the problem is, can you convince the fans to accept a season 2?
So I think there's going to be a big problem here when trying to review and revive any flame of The Acolyte. And I think every portion of this news story has some element of truth to it.
Yeah.
And every point of it is not the complete truth either.
Right.
So
elaborate.
So Stenberg saying that she had hyper-conservative bigotry being thrown at her, I definitely would believe that. You know, the online
the online community is just the worst.
Right. And I'm sure you got those people that were, oh, what is this lesbian witchcraft BS?
Right.
All that
Yeah.
stuff.
Exactly.
So, yes, that's probably a factor in all of this. But that doesn't also stop the show from not being well written. There was definitely elements of the show that were not fleshed out.
Agreed.
As well as it should have been.
Agreed.
Also, if I remember correctly, Disney poured a lot of money into this show.
They did. It was an expensive show.
I think it's one of the highest Disney Plus shows that they gave a budget to.
I can see that. I don't know the exact numbers, but I mean, it was big.
Right. I think it goes down on like the top 5 Disney Plus entities that they've poured money into in terms of budgets, and they got a mediocre product out of it. Yeah. I think that's kind of the I think that's the first thing you would have to try and convince the executives to overcome in terms of the show actually being canceled. Now, with that being said, here is something I would like to see, and I think this might be an avenue for Manny Jacinto. Is that how you say his name?
I think it's Jacinto. I might be wrong, but that's what I think.
I would like to see maybe they could spin off and just do like a Sith-only show. I loved the parts of The Acolyte that I thought were really good was his parts. Was all of the Sith trying to lure people and explain their viewpoint of the world versus how, much of a bad cop the Jedi Order is in this world. That was annoying to me. But if maybe you could pitch a show that would be more about the Sith kind of developing underground and more about how they get their influences in and how Palpatine comes to power, like how he gets his power. I would think that would be the avenue Manny could go down to try and pitch to Disney to try and create a future for his character in the Star Wars realm. Which also, by the way, it's also kind of self-preservation. Of course he wants a season 2. He wants to have another job.
Right. He's like, man, I got into Star Wars, and then they cancel his show immediately. So he thought he was on a one-way ticket to like
Gravy Town, yeah.
Right, and then all of a sudden it gets canned.
So that's the thing with this story is everybody is, I think, has a degree of being right, but they're not the total form of being right.
It's a combination of all of those factors, and yeah, like everybody's telling like one side of a multifaceted story. I will say that I said this in the review and when we talked about the cancellation, is that again, I have been looking for a show like The Acolyte for so long. Like I think one of the few people who wanted to have something completely removed from the Skywalker saga. Right. And so The Acolyte was here. I was super excited. And just like the viewership data, I also became less and less excited for the show as it went on. You know, like when it started, I was like, cool, I'm in. Right. And then as it went through the weeks, I was like, another episode where they like do the same story from the other point of view now. Okay, that was creative.
That was bad.
And then it's like, another episode where the guy from Squid Game forgets that he can use the Force. Okay, this that's a head scratcher, sure. So, another episode where emotions muddle your ability. Haven't seen that one before. So yeah, I agree. The writing was subpar. That being said, I do think that there's a slight kernel, and like you said, it's part of the truth, but not the whole truth. I think there's a slight kernel there where Disney's like, they still got millions of viewers. Like the show didn't struggle. It just wasn't the best, but still better than most by many metrics. Reviews, viewership. And I think they're probably like, it's not worth the discourse.
Yeah, that could be it too.
I think part of it is like, you know what?
It's not worth the headache, yeah.
It's not, and I as sad as that is, I think that there is at least a portion of that going into that decision, because you look at the reviews, solid 7s out of 10s. We were right around there. We said 6.5, 7 out of 10, which apparently is the ceiling for comedies.
We've learned, yes.
And if you view it through a certain lens, it could be a comedy because the Squid Game guy was a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
But like the reviews were average. Viewership was still in the millions. It debuted at the top. It stayed in the top 10 for a few weeks.
I would like to say, though.
Yeah.
And I know this because Rachel tells me to watch all these shows that she wants to watch that gets canceled.
Okay.
This is not special to Star Wars.
No, it's not.
I mean, we watched My Lady Jane.
Never heard of it.
And that, well, you better. Because, well, I mean, I don't know, maybe you won't now. It had really great reviews. It consistent ratings, 8, 9s, like
and
high up there.
It just didn't
and
have the
Amazon
viewership.
decided to cut it. Said it just wasn't worth the budget for the amount of eyeballs that they got for it. So, you know, sometimes that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, and maybe for Disney, Disney has a separate kind of equation or algorithm for Star Wars. They're like, if we're going to put the Star Wars name on something, we expect it to be top 5, not 6, not 7, but top 5.
Yeah, it could be.
And it's a shame because that's a really high bar. And so far, only The Mandalorian has cleared it.
Yeah.
Like, they let Ahsoka continue. Ahsoka was trash.
I mean,
and I stand by that. Boba Fett was trash.
Boba Fett was unnecessary.
Like, I haven't watched Andor, so I can't speak to Andor, but at least 2 out of the 5 were not good.
Yeah. So, you know.
So it's just crazy that they canceled, because I thought there was, if they had just been allowed to continue it, there could have been something cool there. But
spin it off into a Sith focus show.
I hope they don't.
That's what I want to do.
Right, and I hope they don't abandon that era of Star Wars. Like, don't be like, all right, this didn't work. Let's tell young Luke Skywalker's story.
Yeah.
Shoot me. Just run me over with a pod racer. Like, man.
Yes, no.
Put me in the beam of the pod racer. That's what I want.
That's the next show.
Young Luke Skywalker?
No, young pod racing.
Young pod racing? I would watch just a pod racing show. I want to know the rules of it. I want to see the different tracks. I want to know.
I mean, they literally made a video game out of it.
I know. I didn't play it, but I'm aware, yeah. But, like, I just don't abandon the era. There must be so many cool stories to tell. Just tell the right story. You know, it's just frustrating because I wanted that show to work so bad, and it just was so painfully average. And then Disney just, with the axe, you know?
Disney has selected no.
So, there you go. The Acolyte. Maybe we'll see Manny Jacinto again, either in a spinoff, or maybe he can convince Disney he can plead with them. It's not the first time that an actor, actors have been successful with pleas before. Tom Holland made Disney and Sony come back to the table.
Yeah, so it's
to
possible.
to finish the Spider-Man trilogy.
It's possible.
So it's possible, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. How about we move into the realm of video games here?
Yeah, quick one here.
Because I saw the ads for this game,
Concord,
and it's already being just... Tell us the story. It's already done.
Yeah.
The game's already over.
Yes, the game is already over. So Concord was a live service exclusive for PlayStation and PC. A lot of advertising. I mean, Rich said he saw the advertising, which is usually a pretty good metric when you just see advertising for a game around. You know, usually video games have very selective advertising, right?
Right.
Yeah. Sony was expecting it to be big. They purchased the developer who was making it. They were like, we feel this is going to be the next big live service game. The game released to average reviews. Again, 6 out of 10. That is the death knell for entertainment. If you're a 6, you're dead.
Yeah. Actually, be worse. Go be worse. And that way you can...
Because then people are like, you got to try this. It's so bad.
Right. Or the Angry Video Game Nerd will do an episode about
you. Right. You get word of mouth sales. But that did not happen here. Concord came out to very painfully average reviews. They reportedly sold only 25,000 copies. That is comically low for any major entertainment release. Even worse than that, only 700 concurrent players on Steam.
Yeah,
that is pathetic, especially for a game that's supposed to be live service.
I have the Sony CEO official response to those numbers.
Oh no! We suck again!
So
that is super accurate.
That's the official response.
Yeah, so the long story short here, Sony is going to pull Concord from digital storefronts, and all storefronts for that matter. They're taking it offline, and they're issuing refunds for both physical and digital
That's bad.
copies of the game.
That's bad when you have to do a full-blown refund scale.
Yeah. So it's one thing if a game doesn't live up to expectations. It's another when the parent company nukes the game and gives the money back.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
That's really bad. Like, if one thing companies don't like doing, it's giving money back to customers.
I declare bankruptcy!
So I'll just read the quote here from Sony. They said, quote, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game and our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th, 2024, and explore options, including those that will better reach our players.
The evidence has been falsified!
Whoa, what was that PR person?
I don't know. The PR department's going crazy.
Yeah.
After that outburst, they continue. While we determine the best path forward, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PlayStation 5 or PC. There's talk online. People are saying, if it had been free to play, ... If it had been free to play, ... And this leads to kind of a question because there's really no conversation about Concord. It flopped. It was not good. They are
no good.
They are probably going to reboot it as free to play to regain some of the cost of development. But what do you think about this concept of if it had started as free to play, do you think this game would have survived or done better? I mean, I guess the bigger question here is what is the cost to quality ratio? Like, this game launched at $40. It's a live service game, which means it's online only. It's going to be updated regularly. What is the barrier for entry to a game like that?
Well, yeah, the problem is that if the game is only going to be online only, you've got to set the initial door to be easily accessible.
Right. Because you need players.
Yeah, you need the people to log on and try your game. So
$40.
That's
what's
not
that
good.
price point? Not good?
No, not for an online only game. No.
Yeah. I think for me personally, if I know a game is going to be online only, I think the very max you can do is 20.
Yeah.
I know that sounds wild because it's a big AAA game. I just don't want to pay.
Would you rather have a lower cost up front or a bigger cost up front and a lot of players, or nothing at all? Like,
right. Because if you don't have players, then you can't do things like microtransactions or expansions or in-game advertising or, partnerships with, I don't know, Nike or Mountain Dew. Like, all of that goes out the window if you don't have players.
Right. You got to get over the initial hump of everyone playing first.
Right. If you take the hit in sales, then, instead of 700 players, maybe you have 70,000 players. You go to Mountain Dew and be like, hey, you want to put a Mountain Dew skin in the game? Did they
not learn from Rockstar?
No, not
like
at all.
Literally, Grand Theft Auto Online started as just a free component to Grand Theft Auto 4 and Grand Theft Auto 5.
And they monetized the crap out of it.
And then when everybody is playing that, then you can monetize and do microtransactions.
Then you milk.
Cheat codes and new missions and all that BS.
Yeah.
But you got to have the base first.
No, absolutely. 100% agree. Like, this was not even on my radar because when I heard, it is a death sentence, I think, for games. When you say the magic words of live service and $40 upfront price.
Yeah. They should not be together.
There's so many free options between Fortnite and Rocket League and what's the other one? Overwatch 2. And there's like so many free options. Why pay when you're already playing other stuff with all your other friends?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense. What's your personal barrier to entry? Like, I say I could maybe stomach 20 if I thought it was a really cool live service game.
No, I think that's fair. I think that you're on target there.
Because $20 in the world of video games is kind of an impulse game buy.
Right.
Anything more than 20, I'm like, I'll see the reviews. I'll wait for the 10% off or whatever it may be deal, But this also opens up another question. Like, the video games are an expensive hobby in general.
If you're going for day one purchases, yeah.
Yeah, between the consoles, the games, the peripherals, like, do we have a problem in modern games of cost to quality ratio?
Absolutely.
And what is your cost to quality? Like, how do you judge that?
I
personally,
I go by reviews. I go by word of mouth. I go by your recommendations too, Mike.
Thank you.
But the thing
that's true. Every gamer does. They go to your friends. What are you playing?
Right. But the thing I really think about when I get pulled into this argument is frickin' Madden.
Yeah.
I can't stand.
What about Madden?
I can't stand that Madden is $70 every year.
And what do they add?
And they don't add anything. It's the same game.
Because don't they update the rosters on every version of Madden already? So what are you paying for?
Well, not every version of Madden.
Oh, they stop updating after a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay, but like, how current do you need to be? Like,
yeah,
I don't care if Tyreek Hill is on one team versus another team. I'll just trade for him.
Yeah.
Or I'll create a character.
Or I'll just create my own fake football universe, and in my football universe
should Madden lower the cost and become like a live service thing? Like, if Madden released, let's say, for 40 instead of 70, but that's the one copy of the game you're going to buy, and maybe roster updates are like $5 a year, or maybe roster updates don't have a cost associated, but other things have a cost associated with them.
The problem with Madden is they have the NFL exclusivity contract.
Not forever, though. That does expire. But the problem is
Good luck.
no other game can rival Madden because Madden's been at it for like a decade.
There needs to be, when it comes to Madden, there needs to be a full-blown rebuild from the ground up.
Yeah.
Because the college football game that came out,
Yeah.
people have been loving it.
Oh, yeah. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
People have been saying, like, that is a great first step into the world of developing a brand new football game that we haven't seen in a while.
Right.
Madden is literally just copying and pasting the same formula that they've had since like 2007.
Forever. Yeah, forever ago.
And just throwing one more new feature in, and that's it.
I think the
There
problem
needs to be a full rebuild of a football game.
I think the problem is...
And Madden and EA is not going to let that happen while they have the exclusivity agreement with the NFL.
Right. I think the problem is just that they have this exclusivity deal, and they're desperate to get a game out to coincide with the next season. So that means their development time is like, it's not even a full year. And people don't realize, like, a game goes gold and gets pressed onto disc like a few weeks before it actually hits store shelves. So that means their actual development time is probably closer to like 10 months instead of 12 months. And then, of course,
it's probably lower than that.
Probably lower than that even.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're probably planning ahead for, 26, 27, 28, but actual hardcore development is probably very crunched. What they really need to do is they need to skip a year.
Yeah, it really should be.
But it's never going to happen.
Gonna do it.
It's never going to happen. And it's so frustrating because I remember when Madden, like, every year, it's like, okay, here's franchise mode. Now here's be the owner mode. Like, big new changes, right?
Yeah.
Remember
But it was also because they had to contend with
NFL 2K.
NFL 2K, and Sega had a game out too. It was like NFL something.
Yeah, and
NFL
and
year.
Even internally at EA.
NFL given year.
Yeah, right. And then even internally at EA, they had like NFL Street. You had I think there's like an NFL Blitz, there was NFL 2K, there was so many options. So yeah, I think that video games in general, like, it's a very expensive hobby, and obviously you need to pay the developers because they need to continue making these great experiences, but some really do take advantage of that, like with Concord, $40 live service, totally unacceptable. Madden, $70 for different names on the back of jerseys, totally unacceptable.
Yeah.
So
those are our frustrations with the video game industry.
Vent.
There
we
you
always
go.
say this show's like therapy.
It is. Also, too, how it's like therapy?
Tell us, Rich.
When you get to feel better about yourself after hearing some wacky news in the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this. Past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Rich, our video's not back.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Odd news. There we go.
It's a good thing we got two sets of eyes. I'm like, hold on.
Thank you.
Nobody can see us. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here. You're recorded at a different time and the wheels come off the train.
Yes. It's too bright.
It's too bright in the sun.
I can't see buttons.
We're not creatures of the daylight anymore.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But here in the segment, Rich researches the news. He reads the news and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and it keeps me guessing what? I completely forgot
Yes,
my
you
spiel.
did.
I completely forgot it. So I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths.
Because you done goofed.
I done goofed, but I'm still ready to get into some odd news. What do we got?
All
Where are
right.
we going? What the heck is happening?
All right, we both messed up. It happens, but at least we don't mess up by being in Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Ain't that the truth? All
All
right, so
right.
what is happening down yonder?
All right, we're going to follow the case of Dr. Giovanni Balla.
Oh, no, an Italian doctor. This must...
No, he's actually Asian.
Giovanni?
Hey, look.
Hey, I can't judge.
Maybe he secretly wanted to be Paisan, but
I mean, doesn't everybody kind of want to be a little bit?
Yeah,
maybe.
But no, this is an Asian fellow here.
Okay,
and his name is Dr. Giovanni Balla. The 50-year-old doctor.
I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old.
Yep, that's right. The 50-year-old doctor sold his Florida medical practice a couple years ago to a fellow doctor, 32-year-old Dr. Dylan Dinesh. How do you like that for 3 Ds?
That's amazing. I want to go to that doctor.
Dr. Dylan Dinesh.
Dr. Dylan Dinesh.
Boom, boom, boom.
Let's just call him D3.
D3.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm going to go see D3, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so this guy, this Paisan, not Paisan, sold his business to D3.
Yes.
I feel like I'm speaking a different language.
The name of the business became Affiliated Health Clinics.
Oh, wow. That's a thrilling name. Really makes you excited for medicine.
Woo! Yeah. But according to the police report here, Dr. Giovanni Balla became very upset over at how his precious business had deteriorated with Dr. Dylan Dinesh's handling of things.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly. Maybe the quality went down.
Maybe, yeah.
You know, I don't
maybe
know.
Dr. Dylan Dinesh didn't have the best bedside manner like
Maybe.
Dr. Balla.
Yeah, I don't know.
know.
Something went downhill. Something is
Okay.
not up to snuff.
So Giovanni was like, I got to put a stop to this.
Yes.
I'm assuming.
After an argument the two had.
Oh, no. Who hit what? Who hit who with what? Was it food or was it a medical device?
Well, you're almost
close?
on the right path.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Who
interesting.
took their pants off first?
Not quite there.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't confirm it either. It might be.
They could be pantsless. It doesn't say.
You're right. It doesn't say, but it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
All right. Now, so they had an argument on July 30th.
Okay.
I just want to put this in this perspective. The argument is July 30th.
Right.
Then the police report says, then on August 17th.
Wow, this has been brewing.
Yes. So what?
He put this on a simmer.
That's 18 days.
Wow.
This guy's been
He's been sitting
angry.
on it, seething, simmering.
Yes. just
for 3 weeks.
Just very angry at this, at the way his business has become.
Oh, now you fucked up. You have fucked up now.
I like this. This is interesting. Usually in the odd news, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah,
it's usually like 18 seconds. Somebody says like, "Hey, how you doing?" They're like, "How dare you greet me?" And they like hit him with chicken or something.
Yeah, no, this is a full-blown 18 days.
This is a low simmer. He's just
and eventually boils over.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna get him.
He's just sitting on it, dwelling, and yeah. All right, so
All
it
right.
boils over. How did it boil over?
Well, he was sitting on something, because on August 17th, he rolled up to the front door of Affiliated Health Clinics, dumped gallons of fluid on the front door, which was confirmed to be urine.
Of course it
like
was.
the piss boy.
Oh,
You look like the piss boy.
yes.
In all the previous stories where this has happened, we always say, wow, that means they must have been saving it up. Now we have confirmation that it takes 18 days to save up gallons of piss.
Gallons.
You look like the piss boy.
Amazing. See, now we have a frame of reference for the next time we get a story about a bucket of pee. We know exactly how long is it. 18 days.
If you want gallons.
At least he's giving them the good aged stuff. You know,
Oh.
you want like you gotta let it. You gotta let it breathe. You gotta let it, ferment.
You look like the piss boy.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. So 18-day-old piss.
Yeah, gallons of it. I just imagine.
I just imagine him going home, chugging water, and then just getting out the piss bucket.
Yeah, and then like he's got to bring it with him into the car. He's got to stash in like the white buckets.
My concern is transporting it.
Yeah, you don't want it to fall.
You
in your car.
gotta seal it up good because you take a turn a little too sharp. All of a sudden, those buckets are everywhere.
It's got to be well sealed.
Right. But then when he gets there, does he he goes to the trunk, he takes his time unsealing all the buckets, and also how many buckets at a time can you carry? You can really only do 2 buckets easily, right?
Well, I gotta say, this must have been a lot of buckets here.
Yeah, wait, you said how many gallons?
Just gallons, it says on the
gallons?
police
Okay.
report. Cops noted that the property smelled of the rank-smelling liquid all over the place.
Oh, God.
Dr. Dylan Dinesh claims that the urine-smelling liquid completely soaked into the front wooden doors.
Oh, no.
And the doors remained smelling like his urine,
Ew.
even despite attempts to clean it and scrub it.
Oh, God.
You look like the piss boy.
So this must be like concentrated urine.
Well, it aged for 18
aged.
days. This is cave aged.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
How much does it have to be to penetrate wood?
Oh, man, that is just... I wonder if he also... Maybe he was eating really smelly things. Like, he just goes home,
He's
he's just eating entire bunches of asparagus and chugging water. Just crunch, chug, crunch, chug.
Yes.
Piss. Crunch, chug, piss. Crunch. That was his every day for 18 days straight.
That's like the thing that comes up on your actions to do on a video game.
Yeah.
What do you want to do today?
Crunch, chug,
or
piss. Like, he's just going to nonstop every day. He walks into Giant. And he's buys 40 bundles of asparagus.
Bill, we're out of asparagus again for the 14th day in a row.
God, that's weird. Some guy keeps buying every bundle we have. Cases and cases of water.
You look like the piss boy.
Oh, man. Those office staff members, they do not get paid nearly enough for that because is that poor secretary probably had to go out there and scrub that door.
Well, they're saying that they couldn't get the smell off.
They could just replace the door at that point. You gotta.
Well, yes, Dr. Dylan Dinesh has filed a lawsuit against Dr. Giovanni Balla in response to this incident, claiming that the door could not be repaired. That's an interesting way to use that word.
Yeah.
And that he needs $1,500 to $6,000 to replace this front door.
That's kind of a big range, no?
I
don't know how much doors cost, but...
I declare bankruptcy!
I don't know if it should be $6,000. I think he's...
I don't know how much a door costs.
Shooting for the moon there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It is a front door.
It seems like a big range, though. I feel like the range would be smaller. Like, if it really is 6,000, it'd be like 4,000 to 6,000, not like 1,500 to 6,000.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe he's also just trying to get whatever he can out of the deal.
He's thinking if I could just get like $1,501, I'll take it. You know,
this is like a weird Price is Right game.
Yeah, right.
How much for the urine-soaked door?
$14,999.
Actual retail price is
$1,500.
Very good. Should be a new version of the Price is Right. Florida Price is Right.
Florida Price.
This is the first pricing
Guess
game.
how much piss damage?
Yes. We have a lovely...
Bob, I think that's $700 worth of piss damage. She says $700.
We have a lovely urine-soaked front door for
God.
you.
It's stained. They stained the wood.
Yeah,
why pay to stain it when you can just stain it yourself?
Yeah, that's right. They always say stained.
A delightful yellow.
I'm gonna stain the door. Yeah,
stain the door.
There you
Yeah,
go. This is a whole new definition to that.
Man, I'm just thinking though. The other thing that I'm caught up on is the doctor Giovanni. He's like, this place is going downhill, and I'm frustrated. You know what will finally make them see reason? I know. Dumping gallons of piss on the front door. Like, if you're upset with the direction of the doctor's office, essentially pissing all over the front doors isn't going to make it better.
You look like the piss boy.
Yes, this is the ultimate sign of mature adult behavior.
Exactly.
From a medical professional.
Exactly. I need to turn this business around. Obviously, the only solution is to dump pee on the door.
Yes.
Clearly. And he'd been thinking about that. That was his grand plan after 18 days.
Yes.
He had 18 days to think about that.
Right. That's the thing. Yeah. This is not a spur of the moment crime of passion. The fight happened July 30th, and he showed up August 17th with gallons of urine.
Unbelievable.
Do you think it was all his?
I hope so.
Do you think like he had people over and was like, hey, can you piss in the bucket?
No, you know what he's doing? He's like, he just is telling every patient they need to do a urine test. Oh, no.
Oh.
He takes the little cup, dumps it in the bucket.
I need two. I need 2 urine samples from you.
It's like, all right, I'm going to ask you for 17 urine samples. The guy's like, I don't think I can do that. Is this like a take-home assignment? Like, how many? He just hands everybody a jug.
He's just actually, I'll meet you at the bar. We're gonna complete the test at the bar.
Instead of asking for urine, he says how much urine. He's like, I need 48 ounces of urine. Why so much? It's a very elaborate test.
Very extensive testing. Right. Yes, it's very important.
He's just handing out water bottles. He's like, you got to fill this up and bring it back.
Yes.
I really hope it was all his, because otherwise that's worse.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, if you're interested, this man is somewhat successful.
Really? Who, Giovanni or Dinesh?
Dr. Giovanni Balla.
Okay.
According to the police report, his primary residence is a $1.7 million waterfront mansion.
Wow.
So...
What kind of medicine does he practice? What kind of doctor is he?
This guy, he has the resources. He's now got the free time because he doesn't have the practice. And he just took full advantage of that with his desire to spray gallons of urine on this front door.
That's wild.
It's like the inverse of, it's like an opposite Bruce Wayne or something. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
I just, like, I don't know, if you have that much money, like, just retire.
Yeah, just be happy.
Just go live in your multi-million-dollar mansion and just don't pee on the door. You know?
He didn't pee. He threw the piss on the door.
He threw the pee, right.
Yes.
I'm trying to find this person. How do you spell the last name? It's just B-A-L-A?
B-A-U-L-A, Balla.
Oh, B-A-U-L-A.
Yeah, Balla. Do you think he was asking, like, people like that was working for him, hey, can you piss in this bucket?
Was this in St. Petersburg?
Sure.
I'm trying to find this person. Wait, I'm trying to find what kind of
medicine. St. Petersburg, Affiliated Health Clinics. That's the name of the business that...
What the heck is an internist? Is that a type of doctor?
I guess, I don't know.
I want to know what he did, though. Anyway.
Well, he was some sort of high-performing doctor because he has a very...
he has a mansion.
Luxurious waterfront mansion, and he was pissing away. Pissing the night away.
He was pissing something away. That's amazing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, there's also a separate criminal charge of criminal mischief that was bumped up to a felony count because of the biohazard of the urine attacks.
Yeah, especially at a place that's practicing medicine, you know? That's even worse.
You look like the piss boy.
So he was released after he posted a $5,000 cash bond. But he's going to have to deal with both now a criminal charge and the civil charge from his partner, from Dr. Dylan Dinesh, because
he's got problems.
He wants $1,500 to $6,000.
Well, he can afford it.
Why can't you just pay him out? Yeah, at that rate. Like if you know what the other person is asking for, can't you just like toss him like
you
$2,000?
have what was it was a $1.6 million mansion.
Yeah, that's what his home was. Yeah,
just split the difference between $1,500 and $6,000. Give him like, or what is that, like $3,500?
Yeah,
and like we're done.
Right.
You know, that's
Unless-
probably what they're going to end up doing.
Or I'm going to give you $3,000 and I'm going to piss on the door again, and then I'll give you
Another
another
$3,000. Honestly, if he has that kind of money, he could.
If he has a $1.7 million home and he's like a multimillionaire, he just does this like every 3 months.
He just goes to random businesses, throws pee on the door, and then pays them out.
You look like the piss boy.
I mean, now that we know that replacing a door is only could be as cheap as $1,500, if you really wanted to, you could. That's not if you want to exact revenge on an enemy.
And then if you buy in bulk, that'll get you a discount.
Right, exactly. You're just peeing on doors and then handing out doors.
Yeah.
Like some kind of weird perverted pee door Santa Claus.
Yeah. He would literally be the Florida piss boy.
You look like the piss boy.
So.
Oh man.
There you go. True story out of Florida. The doctors are even making the odd news.
Nobody is safe.
No. That's the lesson from Florida. Nobody is safe.
Nobody's safe here.
Yeah. But there you go. That is the odd news, and that will officially wrap it up. Sports, entertainment, and odd news.
We do it all.
What more could you ask for from an hour-long podcast?
Nothing really.
There you go, folks. That is this week's episode. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media, hubbubaloo. But most importantly, make sure you have a way to get every episode of the podcast sent to you every week. 2 main ways to do that. First one is on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get the episode sent directly to your YouTube account. Second main way is on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify, and you can follow the show that way. You can also put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you. So if you're driving down to Florida, if you're throwing piss everywhere, you can take us on the go with you and still enjoy the Crispy Noodle podcast with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
That's right. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I am at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am Matt Richliebig, RichLiebig. You can find us on Twitter, X. Let us know what's happening. If you give us a topic or an odd news story to talk about on future episodes, we'll give you a sausage shout out. So let us know if there's something you want us to talk about, especially as the football season begins. This is our bread and butter coming up.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, I can't wait to just get into the NFL season and follow the Eagles and follow the trajectory of this season.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Let's go.
Yep, and every week we'll give you our Fantastic Four picks as well. So make sure you listen every week to the Crispy Noodle podcast this NFL season. But for right now, that will do it. We're going to have to wrap this one up. This has been the Crispy Noodle podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.